these are these are 10 foundational truths about the principles of life. The principle of life, right? So, number one, we have purpose.
Okay.
Purpose. Everybody has a reason for living. You just need to find yours. As long as you are being given birth to, even if you are born by, there is nobody who is even born by mistake. So even if you were born in a prostitute home, now this is also to regard to as anybody as possible. You definitely have a purpose. God has made you divine with a specific purpose. You need to find out. It's a principle of life. You need to find out the reason for your existence and begin to work, make do with your life, and begin to work towards making your life better. Purpose and reason for living is very, very important. And this is the first foundational truth about the principle of life.
Okay. Do you have any personal principle for yourself?
I have a lot of principles for myself. I have a lot of principles for myself. One of it is I don't do anything without planning. I don't. It has been a principle of mine for years now. I don't go to places anyhow. I don't eat all kinds of things. I don't talk all kinds of talk. There are places you will never find Segun there. You can never find Segun there. If you find me there, maybe something carry me go there. There's a principle, and there are people like that. There are people who have state orders. There are people who cannot even walk alone based on their status.
If there are principles, you are being given an opportunity to amend around your table within yourself. What principle would that be?
It would be to give myself more time. Actually, if I can separate myself into different parts, I would have. If I had the power to, seriously, I would have. But as it is, I'm not God, so I just have to make do with what I have. But there's still, if I'm given the opportunity to actually make a principle of my, like to create something of my own, it's actually to give myself more time. 24 hours is so small.
All right. If you're given an opportunity, okay, to give principle to a young guy or a young lady out there, what principle will you tell the person?
I will tell the person to sit down and stop this gym hurry, to wait, learn, build, grow, and the person can make it, even if the person is inside the stomach of a fish.
Okay.
Yes, I'll tell the person to sit down, calm down. As a youths are full with all kinds of, let me use the words of a mentor, exuberance. All kinds of things. They want to blow, they want to make money, they want to, because of watching and seeing too much celebrities, lifestyle, work. All kinds of things has filled the heads of the youth in this generation, and it is bad. While it has its positive side, it also have the negative side.
Yeah.
It is good to be exposed, actually, right? But then, still, as much as possible, you should have a limit to exposure, and you should know how to curtail yourself and how to control yourself. If not, sometimes exposure leads to destruction, and many persons definitely has fallen into that pit of destruction, and it has led the youth to do all kinds of stuff to make money, to live life, like they say. I dare to say it now. Not anywhere below face. There's this word. Can live your life while you are young. You see that statement is a wrong statement. Very wrong statement.
Okay. So
I used to say it when I was very young. When I was younger.
Yeah.
I'm young now. I'm still young, but when I was younger, I used to say it. But it's a wrong statement.
But to this part now, how many principles do you think an individual, a young guy, should possibly have for him or herself?
It depends. Sincerely speaking, I can't really say this is the number of principles you're supposed to have as a young person, but then it depends. It depends in the sense that everybody has his or her own challenges, his or her own what he or she faces in life. Alright, so I can't really say that this is the actual number of the principle you should have as a young person.
Okay.
But as much as possible, give yourself principles that you know would help you and will build you up, especially because of this number one purpose I've just mentioned.
Okay. Okay.
All right,
Because
because
I was almost trying to ask, is purpose also part of a principle
it
of
is a
life?
principle of life. In fact, it's a general principle. This 10 truths and facts I'm sharing with you right now. These are the 10 principles of life you must have for yourself as a person. Whether you're an adult, a young person, a youth, a teenager, a child who is growing up, you should have these at the back of your mind. And I can give you examples from the spiritual side. I can give you an example also from the physical side, from people who have made it. Yeah, there are proofs of how these guys made it, and history had it of how they came about. Most of them have reasons to actually give up, but then as much as possible they kept, because they knew what they were supposed to do. There were people who actually died doing what they were doing, and their names lived on. It's an idea. Ideas don't die.
Yeah.
It is only men that die, but
Right.
ideas don't die. Right?
A quick one. Let me just read out some principles a friend sent out to me.
All right.
I'll read that. I chatted up one of my friend, she's a female. So I told her, okay, this is what we are doing today. So okay, just let me know your principle. One of the things. And now this is what she wrote. She said, all fingers are not equal. So is our race in the game of life. So that means you mustn't equal your game to the other, like she said. And she said, do not live to impress anyone, because anything new you see today would be an old stock in just a few times.
Yeah, sure.
In just a moment of time. And I think I like this one very well. Don't impress others.
That's it.
And people live
100 years ago, but just from what she has said like this, I said that last line you just read is a very, very powerful statement.
Okay.
And you may not know how deep that statement is until you begin to probe it. All right. The best of the best buildings 100 years ago are rags in front of an average building today.
Not compared to the best building.
Not compared to the best building today. Compared to the average building today. The best of the best building 100 years ago is rag compared to the best building today. That's food for thought.
Okay. Yeah. And then she said something. Learn to forgive people before they even offend you. Learn to forgive people before they offend you.
Yeah.
And this is a principle. No, people live in offenses.
Yeah.
And there are people that will tell you they can never forgive no matter what. Well, I don't know.
They're really creating problems for themselves.
All right. Envy is a seed that is bettered, that bets witchcraft. Envy, seed that bets witchcraft. So one of the principles of life, learn not to envy people.
Yeah.
From your own perspective, from your own, learn never to envy people. Always ensure what you're doing is the best. You don't envy people. Be selfish. Love yourself first before others, because you cannot give what you don't have. I like this part. Be selfish. When I said that, I wait, my stingy.
That's easy. But many people won't buy because of the first word that was used.
Selfish, yeah, but it's true.
It's actually
you have to first of all be selfish. You don't dispense what you don't have. Sure. It's out of the abundance of what you have.
Yeah,
you give. Like I was saying something. I was talking to I was talking to myself sometimes ago while I was talking about this pressure putting down on young ones. I said you never stand finish. You can't go there. You can't go there lift your family made a stand.
You go crash.
You go definitely crash.
About you crash.
Who never see breakfast chop now the contest and I be breadwinner. I don't understand.
I don't hear that
one. No, these things are you get.
Yeah.
Because if you are not to a large extent, many of the people suffering now is because they did apply this principle of first of all, being conscious of yourself, being selfish to yourself first, they just feel okay because I have. Let me just. This is it.
I'm going to dispense.
I give it all.
You know, and that, but let me just add to it. That's also one thing that actually crippled many persons and actually crippled many great destinies as well. Because you tend to find out that when these people start, when they just have small, when you start having, all right, it is very, very important to build bridges and block around you
Okay.
to protect yourself, and that's the reason why that person said what she said like that.
Very, it's a very powerful. It's a very powerful one.
powerful word, even though it's a hard truth,
Very hard truth.
and many persons may not even want to follow that kind of principle because they feel if you have and me I no get, I suppose can't help you. It is good to help, but not help to the detriment of pulling yourself down to the pit as well.
Yeah.
So you just have to, have your bridges and then have your surrounding very, very intact before you start helping others.
Let's quickly go back to what you were telling us about purpose
Yeah.
in line with principles.
Yeah. So like I said, the number one is purpose, and it is very, very important to have a reason for living.
Okay.
Now this will help your drives and help you to have perspective in living.
Okay.
And it also define yourself as a person and define every other thing you do in life as a person. And I feel if you ask me at what age you will need to know who you are, all right, because it is very, very important to know who you are, to know why you are here, right?
Then you begin to set up principles.
Yes, it will help you to begin to control so many things and begin to work towards what you want to achieve in life. All right, so if you ask me at what age must one or do one need to start knowing his or her purpose, if you ask me, I'll tell you 10 to 12 years old. Yeah, from 10 to 12 years old. At least by 12 years old, you should begin to know what you want to do as a person. At least 12 years old, because the world is going crazy. We are in Gen Z generation right now. All kinds of AI applications, all kinds of things. Somebody
I
can
think
clone his
the
or
next
herself.
generation is Alpha, right?
They are called Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha, right?
Gen Alpha. Those guys are going to be crazy. Like, you will see a small child, give the small child 100 naira. The child will be looking at you to one kind of eye. Baba, you know how they work for that money? And yet I'm giving it to you. You are looking. During when I was small, now 10 naira, 5. We were using coins those days,
with excitement.
You use coin now. You remember coin now?
From 50
naira, 50 kobo.
From 50 kobo.
What is again? 1 coin, 1 naira, 2 naira. So you can imagine our time, and I used to collect 5 naira, 10 naira. You will collect 5 naira, 10 naira to go, and they will use that to even bribe yourself. But now give a child 1,000 naira, the child will start telling you, "Someone," and then you have to imagine they say, they will give you 50 naira, you will use 50 naira for transport, you use it to feed yourself, and you will still come back home. But now 1,000 naira cannot even do as much again. So you see, time flies, and a lot of things have changed. So the next generation that are coming, at least, since their mind is already full with all kinds of things. So if you ask me, at least from the age of 10 to the age of 12, you should begin to know what you want to become.
And I think this can only be done by the parents through proper guiding and tutelage, right?
You see, parenting is one thing that most of us have. That's why.
You see me now. I will.
Parenting is a broad.
Me, I will not even talk about that aspect. We'll get to that point now. We'll now bring. I'm not married, so
yeah, actually.
So I will not dabble into what
parenting is.
If I'm to talk about parenting, maybe I'll only talk from the negative side.
No, negative side.
From where we came from, like what we saw, how we were brought up, and all of that. The upbringing for us. I think that's the only part we know we can talk about the upbringing, the good and the bad part. But me now, I'm going to advise parents.
It's such a broad topic.
You see, the next generation can actually have light in this format. We are the ones that are going to give birth to the next generation. Am I right? Yes. We the young ones. we coming up from this generation, right?
Let me not say.
No, wait till
Let me not say
my better
something.
to go marry. I don't know what you want to talk with that.
No waste time. Time don't go.
Very wicked woman.
Time don't go.
Now we are the ones that will be giving birth to the next generation,
Yeah.
and with the kind of knowledge we've had, because we are privileged to come from one generation, enter another. I think this generation with this Gen Z generation.
Gen Z, yeah.
But you know, we are not. Me, I'm not part of the Gen Z generation, right?
Yeah.
So we came from. Is it the
Is it millennials?
Is it the millennials? We saw through from then. We saw the Gen Z, and now we'll be seeing the Gen Alpha. So it's a privilege for us to capture or bring forth what we've seen from the previous to this one's coming on, seeing that we are the ones that are going to be giving birth to them. So we can coach them. Now we are not going to coach them, depriving them of their own personal life. But the only thing I think we stand to do is giving them a good guidance on what is good and what is bad, so that they will not to a long run end up in, because this generation now that is coming, this Gen Alpha, they don't already see them as one generation visitor.
They'll be very, very scared. Like their generation is going to be very, very crazy. So imagine our generation maybe being able to do all kinds of crazy stuff in the world today. All kinds of crazy inventions.
I pray they do something meaningful. But my own generation will do something. My own.
That's why parenting is very, very important. And parents will start having this. And you who is also going to become a parent soon.
Till when? Till that time?
Soon now.
No,
soon now.
Till that time.
Soon. Now that's how many?
How many meeting?
How many is really, man?
I think yes.
Go to go. Yes.
I think yes. Not really they talk down for you now. Let's hit up. I think yes. Let's hit up on what we are. Right. So tell us the next one.
All right. So the first one is purpose. Another one is integrity.
Okay.
Integrity is a principle of life. Integrity has actually you can use integrity to win the heart of people. You can just be. It's as simple as that. What is integrity? Integrity means just simply being honest.
Be honest, be yourself.
Being truthful.
Just be open,
just be open, just be plain. Just,
Where I worked before, I think I didn't know what integrity looks like then or was.
Yeah.
Where I worked before. So if you actually do anything wrong, or like possibly you have this theft issue, they will knock you integrity query.
Imagine.
What did this say?
I see integrity.
Knock you query on integrity. But I'm not sure. I never collect that kind of query. But they will knock you query on integrity. I don't collect that. I'm not sure. They will knock you query on integrity. So I was like, integrity query. So it was asked, okay, this guy don't abuse integrity. So when you abuse your integrity, the query will not be issued out to you. So now I get this principle.
It's a very powerful. I mean, you can use this to win the heart of kings and nobles. Seriously speaking, you can use this to win the heart of kings and nobles.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Integrity. It's a very, very powerful key. Now, because of the sake of time and stuff, I don't want to, delve into each of them one by one. But integrity is a key. Being honest, being simple, being truthful. Just be plain. The Holy Book says, the truth will make you free. Not set you free, make you free.
In America.
It will make you free. Not just set you free, it will make you free. In such a way that everything about you will be found truthful.
Okay.
And you cannot do anything
without
to the truth except the truth. So just be truthful like that. Be honest.
So
integrity is one way. It's a foundational truth about the principle of life. The third key here is respect. Respect is reciprocal. Honor every and anybody. Both the ones that you are bigger than, both the ones you are
You don't know who will help you tomorrow.
And the thing with that, seriously speaking, you just have to, be respectful to your parents, to your loved ones, to your friends, to your neighbor, to everybody. It doesn't matter who the person is. Just show respect to everybody.
Okay.
I used to teach some years ago, and I used to tell my children, my students that they were small then. They are grown ups now.
I know most of them.
All right. I used to tell them, I say, see, I don't know who will help me tomorrow. It may be you, it may be somebody seated at the back that is quiet now, and you don't know the kind of giftings and blessings and all kinds of deposition that person have. So it is not for you to go around and start criticizing people and start talking down on people and start dishonoring people. You honor every and anybody, and you just have to, as much as possible, show that respect like that and regard to people. It is a fundamental key and a principle of life that people have used to scale through life and live in every single day, and they have made do with well good success as a person living upon the face of the earth. Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll go for a very short break and then we'll come back to round up the remaining 7. So you just give us 3.
Yeah, really.
Principles of life that we feel every young one that must become meaningful to the society, to families, to the country must apply. Number 1, first is purpose. You must define your purpose. Purpose is a principle of life that it's what keeps you relevant. Your purpose is what keeps you relevant. Number 2 is integrity. And this is one thing you must always tell yourself. I think one of my while I was writing my for the year resolution and all of that, I remember I told myself you must always stay truthful. Integrity should be your key word to anything. You must also remember this thing.
There are people who love to just cheat.
Don't sell it.
They just want to
don't sell your integrity.
They just, because they feel is a way of getting not like getting what they will eat from, or
daily bread,
something like that. It is wrong.
People don't know that. One, the third one he said is respect. Respect, like he said, and like it's being quoted generally, it's a reciprocal. The more you respect, you give out, it actually comes back, irrespective of anybody, through respect. See you at the next phase of this episode. The principle of life. The principle of life.